can do better than that. Give it up for the Glide Ensemble, everybody. The world famous Glide Ensemble, under the direction of the one and only Vernon Bush. We're so honored and so glad that this music department of ours has survived for 2 years. They have been rehearsing online in a Zoom room for 2 years without stopping because we wanted music to return to Glide Memorial Church. And y'all have been dedicated, and y'all have been faithful, and y'all have made this return just the biggest welcome in the world. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts for how y'all have shown up for these past 2 years. And you, welcome to Glide Memorial Church, everybody. I'm gonna try to do this without crying, but I have not felt this kind of energy in 2 years. And it's a thing to return, to be in exile, to be away from this place, to be wandering, to not knowing when you can return, but hoping that you have done everything in your power to make sure that there's something to return to. So we just want to welcome you today to Glide Memorial Church on this third Sunday of Women's History Month and on this first day of spring. Give it up for spring, everybody. Turn to your neighbor and ask them, are you ready to bloom? Oh, ask them again. Ask your other neighbor, are you ready to bloom? Then turn to your other neighbor and say, this your season. And if you're not comfortable speaking in the vernacular, you can say, this is going to be your best season yet. But welcome, 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 welcome. We believe in this spring. We believe in everything that has been buried is going to come up roses this season. Here at Glide, we believe in all observations and celebrations, and we look at them all through a rubric of unconditional love. And we want to spread a message that is rooted in being open and affirming, extravagantly welcoming, radically inclusive, and unconditionally loving. If you don't get that by the end of today, save your receipt, and we will give you your money back. Is this recorded? This isn't recorded. Okay. Don't hold me to that. So we know that wherever you're standing, when you decided in this spring season that you can have a breakthrough, there can be a breakthrough on the street. There can be a breakthrough in your house. The spring is an opportunity for everything to break through. And here at Glide, we believe in the equal access to that breakthrough and that breakthrough spirit. We believe in racial and social justice work in the world. We believe in raising all of our stories to gospel as tools for liberation. We believe that everything we did, or everything we have done if you're not comfortable speaking in the vernacular, everything we did was a seed. And now there's a popular interpretation of lines from a poem by the Greek poet Dinos Christianopoulos that a lot of Mexican activists and other activists have taken on. It says, they tried to bury us, but they did not know we were seeds. I want y'all to know today that your life is seeded with possibility. Quit pushing it all down. Let it come up. Let it blossom. Let it see the light. Let it grow into something else. Let it bend towards the sun. Can we do that today, y'all? Yes. Now, are there any first-time visitors here? Please raise your hand. Thank you. Thank you so much for making Glide Memorial Church a part of your sojourn or a part of your routine. We are so honored that you have been here with us today. Who are our members of the church? Can you show yourselves as well? Yes. Thank you. We are so glad that we are in community together. Remember, We are also a fully hybrid church, so let's wave to everybody. Y'all can wave to this camera right here. Wave to everybody at home who has been holding it down for 2 years. So we see y'all, and we call celebration in person and we call celebration online the same. We call it church. And so wherever you are and however you're experiencing celebration today, you are welcomed here. Now, if you're at home, you have the best seats in the house. I don't know about your hand sanitizer supply. I don't know if you have on your house slip or your slippers, but you're good right there. Now, if you're here in person, you have to show proof of vaccination. You had to show your ID. You had to do some contact tracing. You have to get your temperature checked. You have to wear your mask inside. You have to socially distance as is comfortable for you. And then once inside, you should know that all the windows and all the doors are open. All the personal air scrubbers on the aisles are running at full blast. The exhaust system is on, pulling all the air out and pushing it into the streets, and there is enough hand sanitizer to baptize in today. And you know, we're very clear that there are spaces in between us. And you know, if you're a half full or a half empty kind of person, you know, you would think that, you know, and I've heard it said, oh, Glide is not who they used to be. You know, there are all those empty seats. Every empty space is an invitation for somebody to come in. Everybody will find their place here at Glide. What's most important is that you show up when you do, because they're going to look and they're going to see you when they show up, and they will, and they're going to say, they let her in? Well, then there must be a place for me here. So welcome to the house that Lizzie Glide built, that our co-founders, the Right Reverend Cecil Williams and Janice Mirkatani built, and that this new iteration of the leadership is going to keep open and keep going into the future. So we are so glad to be able to take up that mantle. You know, Glide is also a writer's church. Janice Mirkatani, our beloved literary ancestor who we lost last year, she was San Francisco's former poet laureate. And so we're a writer's church. So every Sunday we offer a sacred writing prompt. And then one Sunday a month we have writer's church, where we actually invite people to bring their notepads and pens and write while they're inside of church or at home. So we have a live writer's workshop once a month. And so today I want to offer this sacred writing prompt just for you to have today or through the week. Where in your life will you see bloom in this season? Where in your life will you see bloom this season? So you can write from it in today's celebration and throughout the week in your writing practice, if that's all right. That's all right? All right. Amen. Now it's our prayer time. And our prayer basket is in the chat online, and our prayer basket is here in person. Cameron, can you model the prayer basket, please? That is the prayer basket. So if you're online, you can put your prayers in the chat. If you need a prayer for yourself, just type the word me. And if you're in person and you're not used to the prayer request thing, just write the word me and your name on the prayer slip. And then we have this amazing group of folks called the Prayer Circle that meets every Wednesday night. And you don't have to know how it works. You just need to know that somebody is considering you this week. I don't know if you have proof that somebody is thinking about you intentionally, that someone is holding you and your thoughts, but there's a group of 7, 8, 9 people, Nora included, Laurel included, who pray fervently over everything that comes in. So if you want some of that, please be greedy with it and put your prayers in the prayer basket. But if you need a prayer for yourself or your friends or your family, your house, your block, your neighborhood, your city, your state, this world, we need prayers for this world, y'all. We need prayers for this world. Or bigger, the universe, you can put it in the prayer basket. If you need a prayer for someone to come close to you, or you need a prayer for someone to go way far away from you as possible, if you need for a prayer for a door to open or a door to close, we can pray over it all. Just allow us to do that. So I'll add some of my own to the prayer basket. My new nephew, Brandon, didn't know my father had a son who had a son. We just met him recently, so I have a new nephew. I also have a young cousin who passed away recently. I want to pray for his father, my Uncle Edmund, my dad's brother, and all families like mine existing between this new life and this passing life called spring. Who will you add to the prayer basket today? Who will you add online to the prayer basket? You know, you can always email us your prayers as well. You can also use our online prayer submission form, or you can call our prayer care phone line, and all of that information is listed in the chat. So I'm going to offer a Gwendolyn Brooks poem about the great African-American singer and radical activist Paul Robeson as a prayer today. It's called Paul Robeson by Gwendolyn Brooks. That time, we all heard it, cool and clear, cutting across the hot grit of the day. The major voice, the adult voice, foregoing rolling river, foregoing tearful tale of bell and barge and other symptoms of an old despond, warning in music's words, devout and large, that we are each other's harvest. We are each other's business. We are each other's magnitude, and we are each other's bond. Amen? Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Right on. Shalom. Salam. Namaste. And Ashe. And now please join your voice to ours for our community song.
Yes, everybody stand at the table. Our community song. Join in with us to worship on the wall back there. Welcome. It's so good to see you all. Here we go. This joy that I have. Here we go. This joy that I have.
Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing? Keep standing. Some of you haven't seen each other in a long time. And this is our community embrace. People in the chat, in the online community, please put your names in the chat and say good morning. All we want you to do is just give a little air hug and just reach out to everybody to say hello. We'll take a few moments to do our community embrace. This is just fabulous. This is our first time. This is the first. The Gwendolyn Ensemble is here. We're going to be singing throughout the entire celebration. Yeah, go ahead. Some of you have not been here, this is the first time you're here. Welcome, my name is Vernon Bush. And we have been trying to keep this, we've been keeping the music going.
That's right, we've been doing it.
And we're going to keep keeping the music going. And the Gwendolyn Ensemble is going to sing some songs for you. This is a throwback Sunday. We're going to do, the first song we're going to do is this new song that none of you have ever heard called We Declare Your Glory in This Place. And then following that song is going to be Love Will Make a Way Somehow. Love will make a way somehow? Y'all believe that? Love's gonna make a way somehow. And then we'll have a throwback video with Sandra Stewart singing this song back in 2001, I believe. I Keep Holding On. It's so appropriate. And as we celebrate Women's History Month, I thought it was just a great way to bring the old and connecting it with us in the new form. This is the new Gwendolyn Ensemble. I know you don't see so many numbers, but this is how we're going to start from this point on, and we're going to grow from here. We've had a lot of loss in our community, so we're going to rebuild just like you are coming for the first time. So without further ado, we'll do We Declare Your Glory.
We declare your glory in this place.
acclimate you to the live experience. Someone said, last week, someone came up to me and said, it ain't nothing like the real thing. Y'all at home, y'all get a bit of it, but when you're in the sanctuary and you're in the energy, you feel. Because there's no separation. We're right here with each other, and we're going to sing this song, Love Will Make a Way Somehow.
wouldn't make it. They said I wouldn't be here today. They said I'd never amount to anything. But I'm glad to say that I'm on my way, and I'm growing more and more each and every day. There were many that started out with me, but now they've all gone astray. But I'm still holding on. I'm still holding on. I'm still holding on to his hand. And I'm still holding on. You know I'm still in God's holy plan. And I'm still holding on. And I'm headed for the promised land. I will never let go of his hand. You see, when I was young, I gave God my hand, and I told him to lead the way. Though the road has been rough and the going's been mighty tough, still I ain't gone nowhere. I'm out here to stay. Though I've been talked about and all
I'm still holding on. Still. By faith and by Wellbutrin. I keep holding on and taking my meds all through this. Take your meds and hold on. So we have some announcements that we're going to share with you today. This is the announcements time. It's important that you know that we received your prayers in our prayer basket. And if you're online, we have also received your prayers. I just want to share a few of them. These are the prayers that came in online. So y'all will have some work to do on Wednesday. So David Fredrickson, Linda Gold, we received your prayers. William Pius, LB, for Gunter, Cheryl Sinclair, we received your prayers. Sarah Paredes, Solange Silvera, Freeman Best, Rick Ross, we received your prayers for Tyler's upcoming surgery next Monday. We hold Tyler in our prayers. Elizabeth Ritzman, we received your prayers. Linda Mantel, Terry L., thank you for trusting us with your prayers for the Ukrainian people. Kay Foster, we hold you in our prayers. And Leah Sparkman, thank you for trusting us with your prayers. We also have some birthdays that we want to. Are there any birthdays in the house? I only have to split cake with 2 people? That's amazing. Happy birthday, y'all. I want you to know that you share your birthday with some amazing Glide members and friends of Glide. Mike White, my oldest brother, Craig Ponsford, Eleanor Siren, Eli Moore, Carolyn Leach, Jose Guevara, T. Martin Brown, Todd, Denisha Delane, Alan McLaughlin, William Ktsanes, Katsani, close enough, thank you. Cole Crowitz, Ernest Larkins, Tyler Jones, Phyllis Kaplan, Grade Caston, Felony Castro, Karen Haskell, Sarvi Chan, and Angela Hennessy. Happy birthday, y'all. And if we missed anybody, please let us know. You can email us at churchoffice@glide.org or put it in the chat. We want to celebrate whatever needs to be celebrated in you. Anniversary, birthday, whatever it is, let us know, because we are a church that celebrates one another. Also, if you have a Sunday or several or all of your Sundays that you want to offer to Glide Memorial Church, we're looking for people to fill out our AV squad. If you were on the AV team in 8th grade, we want you here on Sundays. We need folks to help us with our audio and visual department to make sure that our Sunday celebration remains vibrant, remains at the top of technology, and is able to deliver unconditional love through this technology. So if you have some time to spare to be a part of our AV squad, please go to glide.org/church announcements, and there's some information there about the positions, or you can email us at churchoffice@glide.org. Join us today for some virtual fellowship time in Freedom Hall. We have a very special Freedom Hall today after the 11 a.m. celebration. We're going to have the new, brand spanking new, first ever Glide Memorial Church Board of Directors there. Give it up. We're serious about this heading into the future well-equipped thing. So we're going to be introducing the Glide Memorial Church Board of Directors at our 11 a.m. virtual Freedom Hall, and our CEO and president of the Glide Foundation, Karen Hanrahan, will also be in the room as well. Please join us for any of our congregational life groups that happen throughout the week. You are welcome to any and all of them, everything from yoga to meditation. We have book clubs, we have racial justice, we have a white anti-racist group, we have a little bit of everything. So please join us. Bible study, choir, all of it you are welcome to join and be a part of. Don't forget to like us and follow us on Facebook or wherever you listen to your podcast. You can find us there as well. And we're almost through the announcement. Yes, next Sunday, we have a very special celebration of life planned here in the sanctuary at 1 p.m. for Steve Palmer. Thank you. And it's going to be his family. Steve Palmer's family is in Pennsylvania, so they'll be joining us on the live stream. But we're going to be celebrating the life of Steve Person, the great man, the great singer, the great fighter, but even greater believer who passed away recently. So that'll be at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here in the sanctuary. So it'll be like a third celebration. So thank you for hearing all of those announcements. If you want some more, I have about 2 more pages, but I think I will spare you. Just go to glide.org/church announcements where you can read all of these. But now I want to introduce today's witness. This is her first time ever giving the witness. What a special treat to have her during Women's History Month. She's an Ensemble member, she's a teacher, she's a master knitter, and she is an all-around good person. So please welcome today's witness, Susannah Casholt Malloy.
Okay. I told myself last night, or yesterday afternoon, when Marvin asked me to be the witness, I said, don't stress. You can do this. And don't spend a lot of time writing things down. Just go with the Spirit. I did do this once online, but I think I literally had myself taped about 25 times. I was so stressed out. It was horrible. And I'm like, I'm not doing that this time. I think the main reason I'm here at this podium speaking is to let you know why it is that I came here in the first place and why I stay and why I call this home, because this is home for me. I was lucky enough to go back to school in the 2000s, and it was probably about 2004, 2005, I was taking a cultural class. I was going back for my master's in education and getting my reading specialist credential. But I was in a cultural class. It met every Saturday. It got really heavy. We did really good readings, good talks, but it got really, it got tense sometimes. But there was a woman in the classroom. Her name was Nicola. She was originally from England, and she would always talk about this wonderful place called Glide where there's unconditional love, and she'd get a few like, what are you talking about, kind of looks, but I was like, I had to go find out about this place. What are you talking about? So I went with her. I met her across the street at the Hilton. They used to have a coffee shop, and met her and her sister there, and my husband came along, and I tell you, once I came in here and I heard the music, I would be crazy to leave. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. It's a place where you learn to be yourself. But I also wanted to say that I don't come from a religious background. My mom is, she's a Dutch Jew who came after the war, after the Holocaust, and several members of her family were killed during that time. My father had been Catholic, and he felt really dejected by the church, and it was often said in our house, how can there be a God? That's just like not possible. So I think I battled with that, what is this thing? But I think I've come to feel like it's about spirit, and if you want to find spirit, it is here. And the people are so absolutely loving. Vernon, I have learned so much. I think for me, I battle with being able to express myself and feel sure of myself. So it's something that I can still work on in my 60s, which, sometimes I say to myself, some people are sitting on their couch only knitting in their 60s, but I can still work on myself, which is a wonderful thing to do. So the groups that I have been involved in was Racial Justice Team, which was a wonderful group of people where I met Cynthia, who's an alto, who's not here today singing, but she's got this incredible voice, and she gave me hope that I could come and sing also. I met Laurel through the Racial Justice Team. I have been a Glide teacher. We have a Glide Kids group, and I'm telling you, Those kids are wonderful, and I've been doing it for over 10 years. There's a dedicated group of 3 of us that have been there every single week for the kids during the pandemic. We look forward to going, and I know they look forward to it, get a lot of good conversations going. And I think I'm just going to be done, okay? So, my name is Susannah, and I am proudly Glide. Thank you. I get to do this too.
Thank you, friend. I love you. Thank you so much, Susannah, for your witness and for your testimony. Yes. For coming into voice in front of us, for that radical vulnerability. We have kids in the sanctuary again. Oh my God. So good. Susannah's story is one we hear a version of often. I'm not religious. We're atheists. We don't have a practice in our home. I don't believe in all of that stuff. But somehow they find their way to Glide Memorial Church Glide. And they don't know why they're here. There's something that they feel some void can be filled, something broken can be healed. And it matters not what you call it, but we do offer it here. We offer beloved community, we offer hope, we offer love, we offer you an opportunity out of this pandemic to re-enter, to learn how to be human again, to learn how to be connected again. All of this is built into church. And there's somebody outside right now not knowing what to do after this pandemic, not knowing where to go, not knowing who is going to receive them. There's some people who've been isolated for 2 years, probably have not had more than a dozen people call their names in 2 years, probably haven't had that many hugs, had that many people look them in the eyes and say, I see you. And we do all of that here. We provide a space for folks to find themselves again at Glide Memorial Church. And we are a part of your journey. You come by Glide and you pick up something that you take with you. And you spread the word about Glide. And somehow you heard about Glide. Somebody told you about Glide. You read about Glide. And it's important that we keep getting the word out that there is a place that will meet you exactly where you are. You don't have to do anything. You come into Glide and you get the keys, right? Not the physical keys, but the spiritual keys, which is different from, religion. We offer spiritual keys. So let's make sure that we are able to extravagantly welcome the next Susannahs that are going to come in. They are right outside. They hear the music. They're walking down the street. And they're just deciding right now if they should come in. And they will. They will, and they'll see you here. And they'll know there's a place for them at Glide Memorial Church. So it's our offering time right now. And all of this, as much as we clap and sing and preach and pray, we have to fund this vision and this work. And we're going to ask you right now, if you can see the vision of Glide coming back to this community. If you are online and you have been held by this community for 2 years, we're going to ask you right now to give. Online, you can give through the donate button on Facebook. You can use the glide.org/igive or the virtual offering basket. If you're here in person, you can use glide.org/igive on your personal device, or you can walk an offering down to the offering box that we have now, our COVID-safe offering box. So if you're going to give here, come into the center aisle and walk down and then come back around to your seats. But please give into this vision and this mission and this movement, and please give generously. Thank you.
To the well.
sometime or someplace that you are welcome, that you feel not lonely anymore. You don't feel like you are distracted anymore. You don't feel like nobody cares anymore. That's why the welcome table is always present. Oh yeah, it's here. It's here. I said it's here. I said it's here. I said it's here. Yeah, I said it's here. I said it's here. Yeah, I said it's here. Yeah.
Thank you all so much for your generosity, for seeing what Lizzie Glide saw, for seeing what Cecil and Jan saw, for seeing what's coming next. We appreciate your generosity so much. We're going to hear one more song from the Glide Ensemble, and then I'm going to come back and share a very special word with you today.
This is a relatively new song, and it's called Chinese Proverb. And we sing this for all the brokenness that is in the world. We sing this for the people of Ukraine. We sing this for the people of the United States. In every country that's around the world. Because if we had what it says in these words, we would really truly have peace in the world. Where there is light in the soul, there is beauty in the person. Where there is beauty in the person, there's harmony in the home. Where there is harmony in the home, there's honor in the nation. Where there's honor in the nation, there's peace in the world. Chinese proverb.
The
the summer solstice, the beginning of summer. Or is that the equinox? Wait, is there even a difference? As it turns out, solstices and equinoxes are sort of opposites. We know that seasons are caused by Earth having a slight tilt on its axis. As Earth wobbles around the sun, different points of the Earth receive more or less sunlight throughout the year. If Earth wasn't tilted, the sun would just shine directly on the equator all year long, leaving us without seasons and wrecking everyone's summer plans. But we also wouldn't have solstices or equinoxes. Solstices designate the point where the sun's path in the sky is the farthest north or south from the equator, which occurs around the 20th and 21st of June and the 21st and 22nd of December. The summer solstice marks the beginning of summer and is the longest day of the year, just as the winter solstice marks the beginning of winter and is the shortest day of the year. But which solstice happens on which day depends on the hemisphere you live in. In the northern hemisphere, summer starts in June when the sun is beaming directly over the Tropic of Cancer, while winter starts in December when the sun shines down on the Tropic of Capricorn. This is flipped for the southern hemisphere, which is why Australians associate the new year with summer fun. Alright, so what about equinoxes? Well, that's simple. The equinoxes are when the sun is right over the equator, in between the two tropics. They occur around March 21st and September 23rd, and mark the beginning of spring or autumn. We call the beginning of spring the vernal equinox, while the beginning of autumn is, conveniently, the autumnal equinox. Again, which is which depends on the hemisphere, but during both equinoxes, day and night last the same amount of time. Here's a handy mnemonic device. Equi means equal, and nox means night, which tells you that the day and the night are of equal length. So at the end of the day, while solstices and equinoxes are related, they happen at different times of the year. Just remember that solstices are the longest and shortest days of the year, while equinoxes occur when the day and night are equally as long. Regardless of whether it's a solstice or an equinox, there's bound to be a celebration happening somewhere.
I hope you took notes. There will be a pop quiz, but happy vernal equinox, not Vernon equinox, but vernal equinox. So, you're ever at home and you're working on a sermon and you decide to do something weird? And then you get to church and you're getting ready to go to preach and you're like, why'd you choose a weird thing today? Well, I'm going to share a weird thing with you today. So for this Women's History Month, I wanted to share some of the stories that I wrote about the women in my family. 10 years ago, I wrote my fourth book called Our Name Be Witness. And these are the stories that I inherited from my mom and my grandmother, who I was the caregiver for. They both lived and died with Alzheimer's, and I was their caregivers. And I would show up at their bedsides, and I would be whoever they called me that day. So I was my mom's mom, I was my grandmother's mother, and I didn't know it at the time, but it was all in service of them telling the story, and for them not to have to fight. My siblings had a harder time because they just wanted to be remembered. I'm not your mom, I'm your son. I'm not your uncle, I'm your daughter. And that caused some pain, but I just wanted the stories. So, because I was honored to receive the stories. I don't speak for women in my family. I hope I presented myself where they speak through me. And that's what this book is. And so I remembered some of the stories, I made up some of the stories, I finished some of the stories, but I collected the stories because their stories were so important. So then the weird part of this is the bibliomancy. Y'all know what bibliomancy is? It's divination by sacred text. So my grandmother used to have a Bible at her nightstand, and she would just open it up every morning, and wherever she pointed to was her scripture for the day. And it would tell her all about her day. And it would also tell her which number she should play in the lotto, you know. My family. But I love this idea that we can find lessons and possibly get message from sacred texts, and I believe this to be a sacred text. So what I'm going to ask you to do, so there are 140 short pieces in this book, and I'm going to ask you to consider a number, get a question, get a thought in your mind, get something that you have been pondering, and then assign it a number from 1 to 140, and call that number out, and I'm going to read the corresponding passage in the book, Bibliomancy. So get something in your head, and we'll see. Hopefully, it might speak to it. It might have nothing to do with you. Might have to do with, I feel like one of those psychics on TV now, you know. I see a woman in your family. She's a woman. She's of a woman of a certain age. It's not like that. I don't have those gifts. But if you have a number from 1 to 140, I'd love to hear it, and I'd love to read to you. I obviously didn't think this through. I'm going to point in this direction. What's that? Take the first one here. Thank you. Ooh. So this is page 100 is one line. Me and your mama, we sisters. Another number, 86. Until you know, stay right here with me in this mystery. I think you heard it wrong. You can cut off a subscription at any point. Sometimes you shouldn't stick around for the last issue. Cancel anything that says you ain't shit because you from a single family household, because you funny, because you black, because you disadvantaged, or Jehovah's Witness because you just like them. Ask a different question if the answer is your unhappy life. Unharness this wieldy gift. You in your last days, your misunderstandings and your misplaced anger, your refusal to love a day is a new thing, not a recreation. Stop feeling like a betrayer because you're trying to understand this human experience. Reprioritize your life. You did this, doing this to yourself. You wanted to be here. Your mama wasn't thinking about your death when she birthed you. Why are you spending your whole life looking at the clock? Call back that love today. You are the something out of nothing, like all the women in your family, yours. Act like you got some sense. That's my mama speaking. How about a couple of numbers from online? 37? 37. Can't nobody tell you a train wreck because you heard his far-off whistle out your window, out your bed, and rolled up your panties in a hobo ball. Bought yourself a ticket to somewhere you ain't never been but had to go. A rail is a place you think. Think will and steel, girl. Gonna force these metals to meet him. Grind yourself to a halt somewhere in the middle of nowhere in colored cars with colorful porters. He the one punching holes, saving his smiles for the big tippers, going west on the run, working hard, saving money, sending it home to you. Fried him some chicken that lasted for 6 days, and he eat your bread when it go from loaf to slice to crust to crumb. Love is like that. Feast and famine, but a little or a lot, it is good, and your belly belies you. Skinny don't mean love-starved, and fat don't mean too much and too many helpings of it. A cube for iced tea or a cup for tea cakes. Child, a lot of spike and a lot of space between here and there. A lot of pennies ground into wishes, too. Love sweet, love sweet, love sweet. Did I hear 18 in the back? 13, sir. You talked to God last night, huh? See what I told you? Did he say anything about me? Different from praying, huh? Godliness is a choice every time you enter into a door or a dream. A conversation, not an order. Ain't no glass ceiling between you and God. Ain't nobody standing in the way of your promotion. You smell like you God drunk. Found out that he, the designated driver. That's what silliness and lucidity is. Difference is this morning don't need to spill Mary's blood, and your radio is set to wake you up to the miracle station. This morning, inventory your space. Rent God a room. Let God reside in you. Offer this, your body, as the one to view this human experience through. You, an expansion of God's territory. You, God's growing spurt. You in the thought of God. Thought of God, that makes sense? So unselfish, so much honor. You in service. You stronger in this wake than when you laid down. Go do what is expected of you. You heard right. How about one more from online? She was born pickets and post. She practiced on the dry corn in the kettle, squared her body up to a daily and dared it to pop. Meanwhile, the razor blade tongued in her cheek slid out effortlessly. No one messed with her tonight. No one looked like they were thinking about the mark on her or her target. And for a black girl who was Oakland pretty, she stayed prayed up. She was born ornate, but high enough to keep the pest out. She practiced on the dough, holding its breath on the oven stone, twisted her fist into her hip and wished it not to rise. Meanwhile, her hair unplaited without a comb, it just come undone. She knew she wanted to see over, so she cut off the finials. She even practiced on the buttercups in the sun, curled her lips around a threat to curse them if they turn on her and bloom in their mourning. Meanwhile, the boiled egg she left ignited her sorry attempt to inflame and woke her up before they burned down her house. Say they will have no part of her devilment. She wanted callers in her parlor. So she built a swinging gate. She wanted the cats to come and go as they pleased, so she removed the planks. Thought the crawling and the vine things would go through if they couldn't go under, so she dug holes. You can see where the holes and the poles were on her pocked skin when you eye her naked. There used to be a fence on her body. Her gifts needed to be proofed, not tested. Needed activation, not poking. She water. All she had to do was pour herself into her magic. And she didn't. How about one more from inside? 120? Who said? Then I'm going to come back to 23. I'm going to do 120 and 23, and then. So 120. If you have ever prayed with or for me, held me physically or in your thoughts, offered me shoulder or ear since her passing, thank you. If you looked in my eyes and said, "How you doing, girl?" and my answer didn't sit well in your spirit till you really knew, thank you. If your message said, "You don't have to call me back, I just wanted to know that you are loved," thank you. I am still healing, and because of you, it's been an amazing journey in finding my way home, particularly a home that she ain't in. What scares me most is that I don't know if I will ever get the chance to be or to practice that kind of tender again, and the thought hurts me. Come medicine taking hell, fighting with diapers and shoes, high water, come wheelchairs and not covered by Medicare and dialysis, shunt, clotted, and Alzheimer's conspiracies. I would do it all again now that I know how sweet I can be to somebody. Pudding ain't got nothing on me. So I hope that this God is a tender God, wants to be that tender with me now, is tender with me, has been tender with me. And it's hard for me because of the whole caregiver martyr thing complex. But thank you for these praline years. Thank you for the new, the cherry flavored everything for what I'm coughing. Thank you for the icing of this coffee cake. Thank you for my coffee like cocoa. Thank you for this healing. It is sweet. And Miss December 23, thank you. It literally is the longest one in the book. Marvin looks at the clock. That one. Standing there on the verge of tears, that one. The one that stand out, that's mine. Outstanding. Now, y'all who are mothers know out of all your children, that includes your sons and your daughters, nieces, nephews, grands, and great-grands, somebody come into this world special, yours. Well, that one, mine. Not to take anything away from his mother, my daughter, that's her, Margaret, my daughter, who birthed her, who loved her so she let me have her, knew I could make her feel good about herself. My daughter did that, sitting right there. I'll get to her later. And so you do things like spoil her, make sure she always got a little something extra in her pocket because I knew she loved me strong like my daughter and my son loved me like my mama loved me. Child, I think that girl loved me the first time I held her. This one, this fourth child of Margaret and Joe White is mine. Lord, I remember crossing the country and the whole time her mother, my daughter, was holding her. She was crying until she came to me. And then she stopped. You see, I wanted to hold her the whole way. I knew if I did, then she would return the favor to me one day. She didn't go back to her neither till now. Margaret, her mother, my daughter, thank you for this sensitive child who gets hurt so easily, who sees the world through old woman eyes. Thank you for not turning her into something she is not. That one standing there looking for me. Used to serve her a song in bed, used to go into her room with music, always precious Lord and always amazing grace. Used to bring light into her room, raise the shades up and say, wake up, morning glory. Y'all don't know nothing about no morning glory. A morning glory is a flower that opens up when the sun hits it. She was mine. Used to make sure that everything that smells good in my kitchen lined up behind me when I walked into her room. So when I go in there, she knew I was cooking something special. Waffle in the waffle iron, bacon, egg, sausage, grits, maybe a piece of fish, biscuits, salmon, croquettes, orange juice, milk, coffee, just a little something. Because she was mine and I loved her. And I loved her. Amen. 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 I told you, weird, but thank you for letting me share the women in my family with you. Thank you for allowing me to, in this spring season, share a new gift with you. Thank you for whatever ground you're standing on, for the breakthrough that you're waiting for. You know, you can always force it to bloom. You don't have to wait. You can just force it to bloom. Don't forget to join us right now in Freedom Hall for our regular fellowship time online. And then after the 11 a.m. celebration, we're gonna have the special board meet and greet with Karen Hanrahan and the New Glide Memorial Church Board of Directors. At 1 p.m. also, we have Keeping It Real, our recovery group for everybody. Everybody is in recovery from something. And if we can recover together, there's a greater likelihood that we can be held accountable to it. Don't forget to join us next week for the very special celebration of life for Steve Palmer. And as always, go to glide.org/church announcements for all of the updates. Oh, next Sunday is Writers Church too. So bring your pads and your pencil as Ann Blumenthal will bring us our guest preacher, teacher, and speaker. That's it. Remember, keep writing, keep telling your stories, keep blooming and keep blossoming, keep having your breakthroughs, and keep being the author of your own story. My name is Marvin K. White, and I'm your minister of celebration. And we're going to ask Vernon and the Glide Ensemble featuring Dennis Hersey to lead us out. Come on, y'all. Y'all can stand up.
Overcome.